A popular QAnon influencer, he speaks to a lot of his followers on a regular basis about how, the Democrats are a bunch of pedophiles, they're running sex rings out of pizza shops, and on and on. We've heard these things before. But it's just come out that he's the one doing that stuff. Surprise, surprise. His name is David Trent, and he also had an alias he went by because that's not shady at all. David Trent was the alias, and he's a well-known QAnon influencer. There's his face there. So Trent operates the Net for Truth BitChute channel with about 21,000 followers, a GoFundMe page for Christian ministry and veterans advocacy featuring QAnon rhetoric, a number of social media pages. And Trent was also the owner of a YouTube channel that had thousands of followers until the platform purged channels that were espousing QAnon conspiracy theories after the January 6th attack on the Capitol. So he's used his platform also to bash Joe Biden, as you could probably expect. I'd never heard of this term before, called him a chomo. It's prison slang for a pedophile. Maybe he knows about prison and pedophilia, because in one of his most recent videos, he also boasted about all these other conspiracy theories. So let's see another mugshot of the guy because he's been in jail. So the Right Wing Watch reported that he, about his background as he's talking about pedophiles and Democrats and child sex rings. So he's a convicted sex offender, a level 3 threat according to New York Sex Offender Registry. And that means that he is at high risk of repeat offense and a threat to public safety exists. That registry categorizes him as a sexually violent offender. Trent was convicted in 1999 of coercing an 8-year-old boy into sexual acts 3 years earlier than that. So, after his alias came out and they found out who he was in this way, he's also upset at Right Wing Watch for telling the truth. You kind of hear it all the times, like Media Matters. How dare Media Matters post what I said? Same thing here. How dare Right Wing Watch point out who you are as you're talking about it? You didn't want to brought up the whole subject. So he said he was planning on suing Right Wing Watch for publishing that investigation, but when he was asked about what was inaccurate about that account from Right Wing Watch, he didn't really respond. And also, he had one more claim about his conviction. I am an enemy of the deep state, and I did what General Flynn did. He pled guilty to a crime that he didn't commit. So what did you do? Why'd you do that?
Yeah, I thought it was all made up, but it turns out you did admit to a crime. Oh, you did go to prison. He went to prison for almost 5 years. By the way, it should have been a hell of a lot more than that. Sexually abusing an 8-year-old.
I think it was 5 because it was 3 years before that.
Yeah, so look guys, what do we do with these folks, right? So we're constantly, because we're good people, struggling with like, oh, we got QAnon people, you don't want to yell at them because that'll spook them. You don't want to call them dumb because they really get offended at that. And how do we get them to stop being insane, etc.? Or how about we don't? We just say you guys are monsters. It's not like they're shy about calling us names. Like, so you know what this guy said? So of course he accuses all Democrats of being pedophiles, even though he knows he sexually abused an 8-year-old. He knows who he is, right? And by the way, he might be in trouble here because he didn't register all of his aliases, because he's on this dangerous sex offender list. This is one of the most popular QAnon guys in the country.
He didn't do it, Jay.
Okay, so by the way, I never heard the word chomo, right? Jay, I never heard the word chomo. This guy's heard the word chomo because that's what child molesters, looking for the right word here, child molesters in jail are called, because he was a child molester in jail, so they probably called him chomo. And so he knows that, that's why he calls by that. You know what he said about Hillary Clinton? Now, I'm no fan of Hillary Clinton politically, but he said that she was torturing young girls and literally cutting their faces off and drinking their blood. And we have lunatics that live among us who believe insanity like that. Okay, hey, QAnon lunatics, you're actually listening to the child molesters. They're trying to get you to attack the wrong people. How many times does this have to happen? Matt Gaetz and other guys like, oh, the Democrats are terrible, I can't believe. And it turns out, oh, he's busted for having sex with an underage girl. Oh, look at that. And Donald Trump, oh, that's Q, and he gives shout outs to Q, etc. And it turns out, hey, he was really great friends with Jeffrey Epstein.
Every time.
And then Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirator, the worst child molester that we have in prison right now. They ask him, well, what do you think about this child molester? He says, oh, I wish her well. Then they came back and asked him again. They said, you wish the child molester well. She's the worst child molester in America. Are you sure? And he said, oh yeah, I'm sure, I know her, I like her. Yeah, I wish her well. You idiots, it's these guys that are the child molesters. How stupid are you? Oh, I'm sorry, did I hurt your lunatic feelings? Ida.
You know, I'm gonna push back on what you just said, Cenk, because I think that this politicizing child molesters has become such a problem because when you give it a brand, a Democrat brand or a Republican brand or right wing, it really, there are child molesters who are Democrat, Republican, progressive, and liberal, and they all need to go. And so, you know, I feel you. You know, I'm extreme. I'm like, and we're testing cosmetics on animals, right? That's what we doing. And these people just running about the planet. Because I was sexually abused, so I have a very strong feelings against this. But you know, I just think that this isn't what I'm saying about the craziness that is right now, and that we are in the middle of this Lord of the Flies reality where everything is taken, abducted, and politicized. And it's like, no, you guys are the child molesters. No, you guys are the child molesters. Yeah. Meanwhile, the child molesters are just rolling around molesting. And I don't know what we're gonna do about these people who are getting their information at the gas station while they're pumping their gas. I don't know what we're gonna do about these people who don't pick up and read books and get their information from different sources. I don't know what we're gonna do about these people because they seem to be growing in numbers. But I do know that what we need to be advocating for is the safety of children, proper education, that we're fighting for our teachers, that healthcare is a priority. And I just feel like engaging these people is a grand waste of time because they're headed nowhere fast. Their bad energy is being fed in the way of information that is just feeding all of their illnesses and their toxicity. They're filled with hate, like you said. And all they need to do is spew the hate because they're working through their pain. We saw that in the highest office of the land. So like what I am advocating for at this point is that we just gotta leave them behind because they're not coming with us. They're too far gone. These people are, and also they're making money off of this stuff, right? They got subscribers on YouTube. They get money off of people watching their stuff. We're just so far gone. It's crazy.
I'm glad you brought up the fact they're making money off it because that's part of the thing. Look, we have this system where you're stepping on each other in order to survive. And so there's enough people that want to blame someone else. So politicians jump on that and go, hey, people are desperate, people are upset, people are scared about what's gonna happen next. We gotta give them someone to be afraid of. This is not new. It's since the beginning of politics here. So it's a different group every time. We're just collectively a bunch of the same ones we used to. And so if you continue to blame someone else and appease someone's fear, because they're in a bad situation that you've helped put them in, because we choose winners and losers in this country, and there's plenty losers and only a couple winners. After that happens, people are just upset, worried, and scared, and like, we gotta focus them on somewhere. And the word of the day, apparently today, is projection, because it's in every story. It's the way it works. It's the political approach to how they do their agenda, projection.
Yeah, but let me agree with Ida in a number of ways, and I don't want anybody to mistake what I'm saying. Are there child molesters who are Republicans, Democrats, nonpartisan independents? Of course. The reason I'm fighting back is because QAnon has convinced tens of millions of Americans that it's just Democrats, and they do it in a basement of a pizza shop, and they drink the blood, and it's satanic, cuckoo for Cocoa Puff stuff. No, child molesters generally do it with people that are near them, people that are closest to them, and they do it in ways that are not part of satanic cults. They do it in ways that are worse. They gain your trust, and then they violate that trust. And it doesn't have anything to do with politics, you morons. It isn't like, oh, well, the Democrats are, because they're Democrats, they're going to molest kids.
So weird.
That is so painfully dumb. And by the way, Republicans don't molest kids because they're Republicans. They do, if the ones that do it because they're child molesters, because that's what they are. So now look, He had 30 channels on YouTube, and then YouTube banned him, right? And then the right wing says, oh, censorship. This poor child molester got banned from YouTube for spreading insane theories about how Hillary Clinton's cutting the faces off of girls. Oh, cancel culture. You canceled our poor child molester. Okay, this is what they've devolved to. And lastly, Ida's right. I got a neighbor who's got a QAnon bumper sticker. I never talk to him because what are you gonna do? You're talking to a lunatic. Of course, at some point I'm gonna tell him he's a lunatic, and then he's gonna catch feelings. He thinks I can call you a child molester and someone who drinks kids' blood, and that's not offensive. But if you say I'm not smart, I'm so offended. I'm so offended. I don't give a goddamn that you're offended. Go cry in a goddamn corner. We're out of time. Members, we got an amazing bonus episode with more insanity. We got an anti-vaxxer who, anyway, you'll see what I think about that. tyt.com/join to become a member. We'll see you there.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.